Hey there, Bloom Tribe. Dr. Molly here. Today I want to talk about college visits. It is the season in the spring for juniors to start visiting colleges that they might be interested in. And so I want to talk to you about that a little bit. So my student population is crazy important to me and getting bigger all the time. So you will see a little bit more of an influence of what is it like to transition to college in some of the content I'm putting out this time because I want to make sure I honor them and get some stuff out to them in an educational way for them and their families. So here's the season of the college visit. And I always have families ask me, is it important to visit a campus? Or where should I visit? Or is this something that we even really need to do? And the answer is yes, 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 you should. The college visit is actually one of the quintessential, most important things that you can do with your student for so many reasons. You know, families get to be together during that time, and it's so interesting to hear family stories, right? Because the students are like, oh, my parents are going with me sometimes, or my parents asked all these questions, we were there. And the parents are also giving up their time to travel with their kids on a road trip, and that can be very bonding, or it can be a little stressful for everybody, especially when you're looking at it from either perspective, what it represents. So for the parent side, students, please be patient with them. You need to realize, and someday you will have this revelation if you have your own children, you'll have this light bulb moment of, oh yeah, like that was probably a big deal for them that you have a baby and they're it's like nothing else that you ever do. And then for 18 years you raise that baby and that baby's with you all the time. And then all of a sudden you go shopping for places to deposit the baby when they're 18 and you're just going to leave them there. So that's hard for parents. That can be very hard. It can be very exciting and celebratory, but sometimes it can also be hard. So students, be patient with your parents because they are doing the best that they can with trying to figure out where to put you. I know that when my parents left me, my undergrad was in Leavenworth, Kansas. Shout out to all my St. Mary peeps. Um, and oh God, I think I've talked about this before in a vlog, and I don't know. I still got some work to do around it, obviously, because I always feel so, my Catholic guilt is high on this one that I insisted that I was going to go to Kansas City for college, Leavenworth, Kansas, very close to Kansas City. And I insisted, and um, I was young. My mom was like, "Oh, you're going to stay home and go to our local college for a year, and then we'll reassess it." And so did that. So went my sophomore year, I went to Kansas. It was a 24-hour drive away from my parents, but I had to do it because I was independent and I had to go do this, and I was going to do it. And when my parents, it was like orientation, so I had to stay my first night in my dorm, right? And when my parents came the next day to take me to breakfast, I told my poor mom, my poor mom. I was the only kid that went away this far, and I was the baby and the only girl, so I had layers of right. And she opened the door and she's like, "How's your night?" And I told her, "If you love me, you will not leave me in Kansas." Sorry, mom. Sorry, I did that. So now I have the perspective of what that probably did to that poor woman when it was hard enough to drive my butt to Kansas and then leave me there. They left me, by the way. They did leave me. They did a good job. My mom and dad left me there. That's what they should have done. But it's hard for parents. So students, when your parents are there and they're asking questions that are just like mortifying or they're trying to give you their input and you don't want it, all the things that parents do that is so annoying and parental, have patience with them. And then parents, in turn, please be patient with your students because they also, or it's their first peak of, oh my God, I'm leaving home. And some of them are like, oh, I can't wait to go. But really, shit gets real eventually when they hit campus. And like me, it's like, you can't leave me here. Like the idea of it is one thing. And then being dropped there at the very beginning, anyway, um, is really scary. It ends up being something amazing, but at the very beginning, it's very scary. And so this is the first like actual like realization of, oh, they're going to leave me and I'm going to be have to do stuff by myself. And so college visits can be stressful. They're going to want to act like they have it all together, but inside it's a huge decision they're making. It's a huge change that is going to happen to them, the biggest of their life, most likely. Um, and so be kind to each other in the process. That's my number one tip is be kind. Please be kind to each other. as you are embarking on this wonderful experience together as a family. Okay, so number one, the answer is yes, you absolutely have to visit colleges. If you have the means and the time and the bandwidth to do it, get on college campuses off your list. Number two, be kind to each other in the process. It is stressful for everyone. I mean, traveling as a family is one of those like roller coasters anyways. It's so exciting, but it's also you want to kill people. Be kind to each other. Okay, number three. Sorry, my numbers all jumbled, but I need you to feel the campus through your senses, right? And so I'm going to be putting out a lot of material for my college peeps, college going peeps in this new year because I think that it's very needed. They're asking me questions all the time, so let's get them some stuff. So very important that you do your list. So picking up this vlog after you've done all of your fall work of evaluating your values for a college, building your college list. Okay, now we're going to start scheduling visits off that list. Okay, so I need you to feel it through your senses. When you get to campus, both parents and student, I think every student I've ever had, this is the deal breaker for them. It's like, we'll make our list, right? And we've done all of the forework. And then when they get to campus, it's how do you feel? And there'll be some that are on your list that's like, oh, it checks all the boxes on paper. Like, this is the perfect college. But then when you go to the campus, you're like, I don't like it. I can't put my finger on it, but this is not for me. Okay, that's your answer. It is not for you, right? If there's something that you're hesitating about, or if it just doesn't feel right, that most likely is not the campus for you. And then there'll be others. It's like buying a house, right? There's some of them that you just step into and you're like, yeah, this feels like home to me. And there's others you're like, it just doesn't feel right. It's the same thing because it will be your home for the next 4 years at least, right? And so you want that feeling when you go on to campus of, I can see myself here. I feel like I could grow here. I feel comfortable here. I feel like this is my place. And so I need you to feel the campus. And I know that's really kind of hippy dippy woo woo woo, but 100% of the time, it will find you in the right place. And I think that that is super important for you to listen to those things in your body as you're on a campus. Okay. Parents in return, and I always say this during my public engagements, when you're on a campus, fill it out for the support services for your child. You know your child better than that college ever will, even if they have the best support staff, even if you're working with an educational coach, even if you have all the resources available to you. I always tell my parents, you're always going to know that kid better than I am because you have been with them from the beginning. You were the first person they met, right? And you have studied them for 18 years. So when you're on campus, you know your kiddo. For instance, I have I've had seniors that have needs that we need to make sure are taken care of when you're not there. So I've had students who have eating disorders, or I have students who have mental health needs, right? Whether it's depression, anxiety, um, whatever. Some of them had dietary needs because they may have Crohn's or they may have different allergies. They may have certain needs that they have. Okay, make sure the college or colleges that you're looking at go down the list and say, this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that their diet will suffer, or I'm worried that their sleep will suffer, or I'm worried that their mental health will suffer, XYZ. Those things are important. So I need you to watch out for them and make sure those services are on campus, because if you get to a campus and you have a student who does have eating disorder or a mental health need, and that campus is not equipped to deal with it, your child is now by themselves, far away sometimes, and they have to deal with it. Campuses are really good at providing services for the good of the student and that holistic need. And so just do a little digging and research, ask questions around your campus. And that will help. And so all of those feels and needs for your actual person. I mean, the education piece of it is one, and that was for, earlier in our process, but this is about, do you feel good leaving them there? Do they feel good about being on campus? Can they see it as their home? What's crazy is even when we go through that process and students are jacked, then when it comes time to go, it's scary as hell. That first month, you guys know I call it the suck. They're in the suck for a while. When I get them back at Christmas and have sessions with them, I'm like, how was your first semester? And the answers that I get, my heart, I love it, is, well, I just feel like I have two homes now, right? That's when you know you picked a good campus. I feel like I have two homes now and I can't wait to get back there, but I want to be here and it's really confusing. That's because you chose right? And it's that growth process, and you get to decide now where to put yourself. Okay, so feel the campus. Okay, so just a couple more and then we're out of here. Um, I guess just one more. Let's just do one more. Make sure that you know your admissions rep because every college has a designated person with a territory who will work for your student. So it's a reciprocal process. This is why I'm saying maybe one more that's kind of combined, like on the blog, it's combined. Um, is it's a reciprocal process. They are recruiting you because you vote with your feet. You have the money, right? And so they're recruiting you because they want students in the door so that they can pay tuition. Da, 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 da. But you are interviewing them of that feel and that fit of is this the college for me, right? And so recruiters are assigned to territories. So I work with recruiters a lot because sometimes I get to know a lot of colleges because I'll have someone come across my client load and a lot of times some students know exactly this is the college I'm going to. The family's like, nope, we're Legacy. This is where we're going. Um, and then, but most of my students, when I say, have you made your college list? It's like, just crickets. So sometimes I will recommend colleges. Sometimes they go and sometimes they won't. And I will recommend them based on major, all the values list, right? They'll say, this is my values list. I'm, oh, this one might be a good fit for you. So I get to know the recruiters quite well because I want to know their campuses so that I can help students with that discernment process. And so there's a recruiter for every territory. So like there's some like they're out of Montana whenever they're in town, I get to see them or I get involved with them so I get to know about their campuses and stuff. But they will do the same, for your family. That go on the website, look up your admissions rep if you're not working for with a coach, and have your student, not you, mom and dad, have your student contact the admissions rep, introduce themselves, saying, "Listen, I'm interested in your college." My part of my job as an educational coach is to work with that person, set up their visits, whatever. But you can do that as well. You can reach out to them and say, I'm interested, get the info off the website, and build a relationship with them because they will help you get all of your ducks in a row. That being said, they have a lot of numbers that they're working with. And so while you can form as personal relationship as their bandwidth allows. If you need additional help or that navigation of I don't know how to set up visits, get a hold of a coach, get an educational coach. That is part of what I do with the normal. Some families want to set up their own visits, and there's others that I help them develop the calendar, get them all set up, and then off they go. Then they just report back to me. It's a fun process. So a little bit about college visits. It is an exciting time in the spring. So juniors, shake your tail feathers, make a list, get out there, visit, visit, visit. That is your job. If you have questions, you know where to find me. Loving you from here. Okay, signing off, Dr. Molly, Bloom Coaching.